Hi everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Ask Prep. In today's video we are going to understand about colonialism and the story of the imperial capital of. Let's get started. Starting with the introduction, world history is filled with tales of conquest and foreign domination. Mercantile expansion in the 15th and 16th centuries, as well as a Western commitment to exploration, laid the groundwork for modern colonialism, which reached its height at the end of the 19th century. At that time, vast Western empires, such as the British and the French, reached around the earth, forcefully tying disparate cultures and societies to Western civilization. The Age of Empire officially ended after World War II. What happened to cities under colonial rule? After British power was established, life in Indian cities changed differently than in the countryside. While industrialization in the West led to rapid urban growth, Indian cities grew slowly in the 19th century. By the late 18th century, British Presidency cities, Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras, became regional power hubs, causing old trade centers like Machilipatnam, Surat, and Seringapatam to decline in a process called deurbanization. By the early 20th century, only 11% of Indians lived in cities. How many? Delhi, before New Delhi. Delhi has been a capital for over 1,000 years, with 14 capitals built within a 60 square mile area near the Yamuna River. Shahjahanabad, founded in 1639, was the grandest of all, featuring the Red Fort and a walled city with 14 gates. Chandni Chowk and Faj Bazar were designed for royal processions, with a canal in Chandni Chowk's center. The Jama Masjid stood as the tallest mosque, surrounded by vibrant bazaars, Sufi shrines, and water channels. However, only some enjoyed its luxuries, with a stark divide between the rich in Havelis and the poor in mud houses, and celebrations often led to conflicts. The making of New Delhi. In 1803, the British gained control of Delhi after defeating the Marathas. Since the capital of British India was Calcutta, the Mughal emperor was allowed to continue living in the palace complex in the Red Fort. The modern city developed only after 1911, when Delhi became the capital of British India. Demolishing a past, before 1857, British and Indians lived separately in cities, but in Delhi, they mingled in the walled city, sharing Urdu-Persian culture and festivals. This led to a vibrant intellectual period, the Delhi Renaissance, centered on Delhi College. After the 1857 rebellion, the British took revenge in Delhi, exiling Bahadur Shah, demolishing Mughal structures, and converting mosques and gardens for military use. By the 1870s, they expanded the city beyond the walls and moved to civil lines, separating from Indians. The Delhi College was eventually closed in 1877. Planning a new capital, the British understood Delhi's symbolic importance. In 1877, Viceroy Lytton held a darbar in Delhi to proclaim Queen Victoria as Empress of India, reinforcing British authority in a former Mughal stronghold. In 1911, at King George VS Coronation Darbar, they announced the capital shift from Calcutta to Delhi. New Delhi was designed by architects Edward Lutyens and Herbert Baker as a grand, orderly city contrasting with the crowded old city. It featured wide streets, mansions, and a government complex centered around Kingsway, now Rajpath, leading to the Viceroy's Palace, symbolizing British power. New Delhi prioritized hygiene, green spaces, and modern infrastructure. Life in the time of partition. The 1947 partition caused a massive population shift, transforming Delhi's culture and economy. As many Muslims left for Pakistan, large numbers of Sikh and Hindu refugees from Pakistan filled their place, seeking homes in Shahjahanabad, often displacing Muslims. Around 500,000 refugees, primarily from Punjab, swelled Delhi's population, settling in new colonies like Lajpat Nagar and Tilak Nagar. Refugees, skilled as landlords, teachers, and traders, took on roles as hawkers and artisans, with many finding success in new businesses. This migration led to a shift from an Urdu-based culture to new influences in Delhi's food, clothing, and arts. Inside the old city, the Mughallara water supply and drainage systems in Delhi fell into neglect during the 19th century, with wells, baulis, and waste channels damaged. As the population grew, Shahjahani drains were closed, replaced by open surface drains that quickly failed, causing complaints about foul odors and overflowing drains. Despite these issues, the Delhi Municipal Committee avoided investing in improved drainage for the old city, while millions were spent on modern drainage in New Delhi. The decline of Havelis. In the 17th and 18th centuries, the Mughal aristocracy lived in grand Havelis, large, walled compounds with courtyards and fountains, where several families resided. The outer courtyard was reserved for male guests and business, while the inner courtyard was for women. Under British rule, many Havelis were subdivided, sold, or converted into shops, while others decayed. In contrast, the colonial bungalow was a single-store structure for one nuclear family, set on a large plot with separate living, dining, and bedroom areas. Verandas ran along the front or three sides, and kitchens and servants' quarters were set apart from the main house. The municipality begins to plan. The 1931 census showed extreme overcrowding in Delhi's walled city, with about 90 people per acre, compared to New Delhi's 3 per acre. In 1888, Robert Clark's Lahore Gate Improvement Scheme aimed to relieve congestion by creating a market square with shops and grid-patterned streets. The Delhi Improvement Trust, established in 1936, developed areas like Daryaganj South for wealthy Indians, featuring homes around parks. These new homes introduced private spaces within households, moving away from the shared living spaces typical in earlier times. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoy learning about the colonialism and the story of the imperial capital of. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more exciting social science videos. See you next time.